And we're live.
Hello, SHL. We're back again. Is this 7?
7.
7.
Yep.
I feel like I can't keep track, but I think I've gotten it right every time.
You've been right every time. Yeah, you've been on the money.
Yeah, so another week, another podcast.
Another week, another podcast. I'm enjoying it. It's been good. We get some good conversations going in here that I think are starting to maybe stir a little bit of discussion in the league at the very least.
That'd be nice. Yeah, last week was a lot of fun. I thought last week was really good.
No, there was just so much to talk about last week, and in so many topics that, not super analytical, but talking about how to better the league and all that international hockey shit. That was honestly just great conversation material.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So we're in I guess we're into the finals now, technically.
Yeah, finals start Monday, I want to say.
Yeah, I didn't see a date. I didn't actually look because I haven't really been following that closely because I'm not in the playoffs.
That's completely fair.
But yeah, I would assume Monday because I think it's Monday. How this kind of shakes out. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Monday because we talked about when we wanted to sim the juniors finals, and I think we're going with Monday so that we can line up with the SHL.
Yeah, nice. So I guess we'll just go straight to we got one question, or I guess it's kind of two, sort of. But from Mike Izzy, who wants to know our thoughts on the both conference. Well, I guess he wanted conference finals, but at this point they're over. We're done with that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then surprises and predictions.
New England surprised me.
Yeah.
New England surprised me, man.
Yeah, that I actually didn't. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention, and so I went to look today because I knew that there was potential for that upset because of just kind of chatter I'd heard in Discords and so on.
Yeah, Hamilton's got that curse against New England, and we didn't break it this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would have thought New England would have gone out in the first round, but
we all did, man. We all did.
Yeah, I mean it's the thing. Like West Kendall, never really sure what you're going to get from them in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us in Hamilton. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
I think a lot of us in Hamilton were kind of banking on West Kendall getting through that round because historically we're just not good against them. New England, that is.
Yeah. I think last time we recorded, playoffs hadn't even started yet. Is that right? We just did predictions.
We were just doing predictions for the first round.
So, how it went down is first round we had Edmonton and LA. Edmonton won in 6.
And LA, there was a point where LA was up 2-0 in that series, wasn't there?
Yeah, they took the first 2, and then Edmonton took the next 4.
And that was definitely a surprise to me.
I mean, I think Edmonton should have been favored. I think it makes sense for the most part, but going up 2 like that is a little bit of a surprise, I think. But yeah, I think Edmonton 6 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think I had that picked.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I would have. I don't remember what I did, but right now that's what I probably would have done. And then the other series and there was Texas and Calgary.
Yeah, and that went the way everyone expected it to.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the one win even feels like a bit of a surprise, but that was like a crazy high scoring game too. It was like 6-7 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that makes sense. Texas kind of snuck in, didn't feel like they really belong.
Yeah. And they performed well for what they were. I think we'll see them back again next year, and if not, then probably the year after.
We'll see.
They're young, but they're good, and that's really what's important.
And then let's see, we got Buffalo Hamilton.
Yeah, that went about as expected.
Yeah, I think I predicted in 6, just because I feel like Buffalo is a solid team, but Hamilton's a pretty clear favorite in my eyes.
Yeah, I want to say I
wouldn't have taken them in 5.
In 6 too. 5 was a surprise.
Yep. Yeah.
And then New England West Kendall. Which was a shock.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it did go to 7, so it's not like I don't know. It's not like it was one-sided or anything, but yeah, West Kendall I still would have been a reasonably heavy favorite.
Well, West Kendall was up 3-1 after game 4.
Oh,
And
were they?
then New
Wow.
England New England came back and won the next three to knock out the platoon, which was and like not by a small margin in a couple of these games. 3-1 game 5, 5-4 game 6, and then they won 4-2 in game 7. I mean, yeah, that series was close all the way through. But still surprising to see New England move on. I guess
Yeah.
that's what we get for doubting New England. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think our doubts are fairly founded. I mean, their team's just not on the same level as I think the other teams in the playoffs there in the East.
It's true, and I mean it. You know, we say that all the time from an analytical standpoint, from a stats standpoint. New England probably should have gone out in the first round, but there's always a team that manages to sneak through. Last year it was LA. This year it's New England.
Yep. So, second round then, this would be the what is he was asking about conference finals, which I
Yeah.
think at the time we were probably like 3 games in when he asked this.
When he asked this was yesterday, so it was both series were probably 3-1.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, about 4 games in. So yeah.
They were both in elimination scenarios when he asked this, I think.
Okay, that would make sense then. That would give his question a little more context. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so the final they ended up Calgary winning in 5 over Edmonton, which
Shock to me.
yeah, I mean it's really close. I think winning in 5 is the biggest shock to me.
Yeah.
I think they're very close. Edmonton I think is technically the better team probably based on roster. But Calgary is far from being like a significant underdog. I think it's
Calgary's not
real
bad,
close.
man.
No.
As a from a purely unbiased analytical standpoint, Calgary's a good roster, maybe great, but good at the very least, performing higher than they should be. From an unbiased perspective, Calgary might be the most frustrating team in the league to me because they should be dropping off, right? At some point, this team should be dropping off, but they haven't. They haven't been. What is this? 10? Not 10. It might be 10 straight playoff appearances. I don't remember.
It's quite a few.
Calgary has been a consistent force in this league since I joined back in S34. And it's been almost 10 seasons, and you think, like, when is this team going to drop off, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Part of it is they got like a really high level of play out of Dick Chocolate this season, which is unexpected given that he's on the tail end of his career for sure. I think he can't be more than 800 TPE at this point, maybe 800 at the most. I don't know.
Let me check.
It's been a while since I've looked, but he's yeah, he's not getting better. That's for sure. I feel pretty confident that he's the weakness of the team.
Dick Chocolate is sitting at 888, triple
Okay.
eight. Um,
That's not too. That's not too
it's
bad.
not too bad.
Next season, he's got to be at 12% at least at this point in regression.
He's an S29 guy, so this would have been season 12 or 13 for him. So he'll be 3 seasons. He'll be going into his 4th season in regression, I think.
Okay, so that's another 10, I think. Then so I forget exactly. I think it's 4. You get 4 seasons of 10%. I think.
Yeah. So he'll be down to what,
Around
800
800
TPE.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still updating or not. But even if he is, he was never like a big TPE earner.
Right.
He was pretty slow. But yeah, and actually at nearly 900, that's not really much of a weakness. But again, if they have a weakness, that's what I'd say it is, their goalie. But yeah, he played really well this season. So
He did, and he's definitely been the. I feel like he's been the X factor for this team. You know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird.
They're scoring well, but you're right. They've gotten some serious performance out of Dick Chocolate this season.
Mm-hmm. And Edmonton, I mean, yeah, they're a very solid team, kind of all around at this point. So I don't know. Losing in 5 is kind of. I would be quite disappointed. I wouldn't be so disappointed losing in I feel like that series should go 7 just because
that series should
how
go
evenly
7.
matched the teams are. Yeah,
Absolutely, and I think I had it going 7.
I don't remember what I did. I probably did 6 because that's what I do.
Either
Sure.
way, I mean, neither of the teams I picked to be in the final are in the final.
Yep, I would. I had
Uh,
it. I'm pretty sure Edmonton, Calgary, or
I,
not. I'm sorry,
yeah,
Edmonton,
Edmonton,
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers right now, and Calgary is scoring just under double what they're allowing, and New
Hmm.
England only has a goal differential of like 5.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at that too. Actually, Calgary's like just shy of 5 a game. It's like 4, 4,
Yeah,
7, something like that.
something like that.
The part of that is bumped up from
The
Texas.
Texas series, yeah.
They had a couple really high scoring games in that series, but they're still scoring. I think they had 2 games where they scored 5 against Edmonton. I think 1-4 and then 2 threes.
Yeah,
So it's not like they're
they score. They really, really
they're scoring
score.
really well. And Edmonton's a team that should not allow a ton of goals, and not that I guess allowing 3 goals is that huge, but to score 5 against Edmonton twice, that's pretty good. And then I guess the other series, the one that you're a part of, unfortunately.
Yeah, another.
That makes no sense to me.
No, I mean the number. I think the number of games makes sense. It's just not the
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, I would certainly not have. Yeah, I can't. Like Hamilton's, I think better in every way than New England. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I tell you what, I'm gonna be real fucking infuriated if New England gets stomped in this finals.
Yeah, that'd be frustrating.
That it was a tough series to swallow as a player. From an analytical standpoint, it was close all the way through. I think I need to check the schedule and check the scores
I think
again.
at least 3 of the games they won were, I think, 1-goal games. I believe I looked at it earlier.
Let's see. 4-2 loss, 2-0 win. This is from Hamilton. Hamilton lost, then Hamilton win.
Yep.
3-2 loss in overtime, 3-1 loss, 3-2 loss. So
So
the games were never
2
more than
one-goal
2
games.
goals. The games were never more than 2 goals apart. I can't explain it. I'm going to believe it's Simon punishing me for giving me such a good postseason in juniors.
Dang, you guys were really putting up a ton of points on Buffalo too.
We
which is
put
surprising
up a
because
shitload of points on Buffalo.
yeah, and they're a team that got into the playoffs based on the strength of their defense and goaltending, and have 9 and 7 goals, and like a 7-0 win is crazy.
Buffalo should be frustrated right now because they got.
I mean, yeah.
They should be frustrated. They should.
I mean, another season with their players improving, they're going to be pretty nasty next season, I think. Given how much they improved from last season to this season, I think if they have a similar step up from this season to next, they're going to be solid. But yeah, that's rough. Those are some rough games. Yeah, New England. I don't know.
I don't even. Normally, I can pick a team to kind of root for in the final. I can't fucking stand either of these teams.
I don't have any particular dislike, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of good. These 2 teams are in the playoffs again, or in the finals again. I mean, New England hasn't been super great recently, but there's a stretch in like the early 30s, late, I guess, probably started S20.
They were damn good
maybe?
For a bit there.
Yeah, through like
even when I was joining up.
Yeah, quite good.
Because it was basically a few seasons after I joined in that New England started skidding. But they were damn good for a time.
And their roster was still okay for a while after that. It just, like, I think their coaching was off and they weren't
coaching because
consistent results.
I think that coincides with PB retiring too, and then recreating.
Maybe roughly. I don't know if she was really involved with that. I think it was at that point. So like after S32, I want to say it would have been Eggy, I think, handling the lines. Maybe even part of the way through S31. Then after that, after Eggy, I think, was he still GM? I don't remember. I'm not sure who was doing the coaching.
Eggy stepped. Was it Toivo coaching? No, it couldn't have been.
I'm not certain.
Nah, that's too far back for me to remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of it's an uninteresting final to me, I guess.
It's uninteresting, and I don't want to cheer for Calgary because I just don't like them. Nothing personal. I just don't like the team. and I'm sure as shit not cheering for New England. Not after that. Not after that.
Yeah, that's rough.
So my thoughts on the conference finals are, fuck, man. everything that I picked was the opposite.
Well, let's really quick, I guess, make a prediction then. Which I think for me, it's got to be Calgary.
Calgary in 6.
Calgary, yeah, I guess. I just don't have I would want to pick them in 5, but I don't know. Who knows what's going to go on with New England if they're going to continue to play well or not. I don't know.
I don't trust it anymore.
So yeah,
I don't know how to answer that. I'm just gonna go Calgary in 6. New England picks up 2, because that makes sense in my head.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something really quick. I want to do the because I haven't looked at the. I always forget the categories. Okay, who's gonna win the first game? That's more or less which team is better. I'm gonna go with Calgary. Which player will score the first goal? It's got to be either Izzy or Joe K. One of those two.
Fletcher, man, could be wasn't Fletcher.
Maybe. I think if I'm betting, though, I'm betting on either Izzy or Joe. I don't know. Fletcher hasn't really scored a ton, has he? He's got 6 goals.
And Fletcher had a fucking crazy regular season too.
Yeah. Let's see what's the next. Most hits. Landvik's probably a safe bet. Yeah. I don't know who else is hitting right now in the playoffs. Joe K has actually got a lot of hits. He's got 43 hits in 10 games, which is pretty reasonable.
So I just posted my predictions.
Joe K or Landvik are probably the 2 favorites. Izzy's
been low on hits this year. I don't know why.
He's hitting a pretty good pace in playoffs. 41 and 10, which is
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. And then most shots, probably Calgary.
Yeah, I gotta
think Calgary.
Look at the numbers, but let's see. Shots for Calgary's. Yeah, Calgary's shooting almost 40 shots a game.
Yeah, I gotta think Calgary's gonna walk away with the most shots in the series.
Yeah. So I think I'd go Calgary. Probably Joe K, and then Calgary.
I went. What did I go? Wolfpack first game, just because I feel like they're gonna burn right out the door. Wolfpack, Fletcher, Landvik, Calgary.
All right, so that pretty much covers Izzy's stuff.
Yes, thank you, Izzy, for the question that haunts me.
I feel like we probably would have gotten more had I should have bumped it, because there was like a whole lot of other podcast traffic like right after I
we got
topics.
We got plenty to talk about too, though.
Yeah, we got other stuff. So what do we want to do first? You want to talk about some regression curve discussion?
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I'm a couple of seasons out from that, so better to talk about that now than a couple of seasons from now.
Yeah, I should have pulled up the rules so I can get the official regression rules and not kind of try to guess at what they are based on my memory.
I can pull it up. I'm
grabbing
on the site right now.
I'm
gonna close the index. Don't need that right now.
Yeah. Okay, so just looking at what we got right now. Yeah, we've got 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th season are all 10%. 15, 16, 17, or 15.
Yeah, 18 to 20.
19, yeah,
18.
20.
And then, that 21st season, 20%.
20%, yep.
And how, no one's fucking going that long. Some people are, but
you guys, yeah.
Where do you just, is it just 20 until you retire then at that point?
Yep. Okay. And I think that's the main, the kind of like the base of the discussion is that, most a high earner is going to earn more than probably like 150. I guess the top earners are earning as much as like 190 a season, I think.
Yeah.
Which is, I think 160 is a very reasonable number to hit, which is if you're at 20% at 800 TPE, that's what you lose, 160.
Right.
And so you can basically earn that back over the course of a season without like a huge amount of effort. I
Yeah.
think 160 is probably, I don't know. I don't know if that's an average or if it's a little better than average. I'm not sure exactly what people are earning. I wish I had kind of kept track of what I'm earning because I'm not a really high level earner, but I'm earning at a very solid pace. There's not a lot that I'm missing. So I'd be curious to see where I'm at, but 160 seems very achievable.
Absolutely, especially if you're a high earner. Yeah, but even then, I feel like the point becomes moot because what percent of people from a class are going to be going 21 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people don't get much more than like I was actually. My plan was 4 seasons into regression. Once I hit 15%, I'm done. That's too much. And here I am. I'm like in my second or third season of 18%. I
Right.
don't know if I'm going 20 yet. I think I'm not exactly sure where I'm at, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not very many players for sure. A lot of my draft class is gone.
Hell, a lot of my draft class is gone.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky because the few players that are doing it and the fact that you can stay effective, like it. So let's use the number of 800 TPE, 20%. That drops you down to what 640, right?
Yeah, 640.
That's not what I would consider that's like a depth player at best, like a third line player at best.
Yeah, it's a third, fourth line guy, absolutely.
At 800, you could argue that's a second liner.
Yeah, middle six at best.
If depending on your your line makeup, I'm sure you could work that kind of player into a first line. But for the most part, what's going to happen is you're going to hit that 650 or that 640. That's going to be the beginning of the season. Then you're going to kind of grind your way back up to 800 by the end of the season. So really, you're in this weird kind of spot in between. So I guess I don't know. I guess the biggest issue is that you got players that are going to set like these crazy records for career points and things like that, or potentially do that. I guess some of them kind of have. I guess the guys being like the biggest examples being Asa and the Toronto guy. Oh, I forgot his name. Former Kelowna player. I should know this. I feel really bad. Can't remember. And
Yeah, I had it, lost
Argar.
it.
Argar. Those are the three. I think probably the biggest guys at this point because I think Argar is what S22. I think.
Yeah, 22, 23. I don't remember.
Asa is I think S18. I could be wrong on that.
I think you're right. Ace has been around a long time.
And then the other guy, the Toronto guy, and I feel like an asshole because I can't remember.
Toronto? Fuck yeah, I'm trying to think of.
It's like oh god, I should know this. I feel really
still
bad.
on Toronto.
I'm gonna go look. Christian Eriksson.
Oh. Yes, Eriksson. There you go.
He's S20.
Yeah.
So, and those are the guys that are still at kind of at a relatively high level of TP. Like for example, Eriksson's at 875.
Eriksson's at 875, which is crazy. I mean, Eggy's at 879. I'm only bringing that up because I see it right there.
Yeah. Eggy's, I think, largely stopped earning TP.
Yeah.
Because he was our top earner in terms of like his peak. Of course, he had like 2000 something. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, he hasn't really earned a whole lot. Let's take a look at what Ace is at. Cause I'm kind of curious. 904, which is kind of ridiculous considering he's like how many seasons deep in 20% now?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Let's see what we've got to be. He was S18, right? Yeah, S18. So I mean, he's 25 seasons. This will be his 25th season. So this will be his like 4th or 5th season of 20%. Is that right?
Yes.
I think this will be his 4th. My math's probably off on that because S18. I don't know, whatever. But he's going to be at least 3, probably 4, something like that. And still 900 TP, which is crazy.
It is an incredibly solid total. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. if you put a hard cap, like on your player plays this many seasons, I don't like the idea of forced retirement, like you're just done after this point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, these like ridiculously long careers. I don't know if that's good for the league or not. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's necessarily bad for the league,
Well,
but at the same time, we do need to cycle players out, right?
we need to cycle players, and then this was sort of brought up back in the late S30s. Talking about Calgary, who had this sort of thing where a lot of guys on that team at that point were old in regression, but the TPE retention and the playtime retention, well, it was with the double shifting, that was a big thing in like S37 maybe? I don't remember.
Yes, 37. That was pretty sure 37 was the season that
The double
Winnipeg won the
shifting rule.
cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Winnipeg and Calgary alike had the conversation of whether or not the sheer amount of older high TP vets was damaging to the league, and then they changed the double shifting rule and kind of fixed it.
It certainly helped, but I guess I don't really know how big of a problem it is. Obviously, the juniors are very full at this
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's because of older players sticking around, or if that's because of, I mean, we just had a huge draft class. We've just had, and on the whole, the league is growing. It's not like growing at a huge
It's not
pace.
unsustainable right now. Yeah.
Right.
And it probably is a mix of the two.
Probably. Yeah.
We did have a huge draft class, but also there are a fair number of players in this league that are entering their late teens to early 20s as far as their seasons go. And at what point do you just say, for the good of the league, for the health of the league, it's time to retire, cycle it out, get some playing time to a rookie, and move along with that, right?
Yeah.
At what point is it time to step away from this player and move on to somebody else?
I'm curious because let's see, you joined S35. Am I crazy? Or is that
I'm an S35. Yeah, S34 was my rookie junior season.
okay?
S35 was my first season of the 10 before regression.
So when you came in, what was kind of like the average number of seasons that a player would stay in juniors?
I think we all wanted to shoot for like 3.
3. Okay. What do you think it is now? You think it's still about 3? Does that sound about right?
It totally depends on the team. I have
What do you
guys that on average, I would bet you it's probably still 3.
Still 3.
Yeah.
Hey,
I've seen guys go up in 2. I've seen
Yeah.
guys go up in 4. Depends on how they're
Yeah.
earning and what kind of space their team has, but I bet you on average it's probably still 3. I want to say I did 4.
Yeah,
I
so
did
did I.
4.
But when I did 4, I was a pretty substantial outlier. Like it wasn't common at all.
Right.
And part of it was that I asked to stay down for my 4th. But,
yeah.
but it's also, this is 10 seasons prior to that. I was S25. Back then, it was basically 2 seasons. That was kind of the number. It was 2 seasons.
2 seasons then up.
There was
Yeah.
occasionally players would go up in their after 1 season just as a true rookie. Some guys would stay for 3, and actually, my captain on my team, Baller Storm, Randy Randleman, we gave him like tons of shit for staying for 3 seasons, just because he was like the old man because he was down for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So it's it's very, very different now for sure. In being 3 being pretty normal.
Yeah, I want to say 3 to 4 is probably your average.
It felt, I don't really know because again I'm not in the juniors, but it feels to me like players are, I don't know, more want to stay down more too. Like they want to stay on their junior teams a little bit more. I don't know if that's
part of it I think is like I want to have more time to bank TPE, get myself up to a good spot for SHL so I don't shit the bed in the first year. But at the same time, I do think a lot of people also want to get a 4-star,
yeah.
Because you have a long SHL career to try and get a challenge. You typically only have 3-4 years to get a 4-star, and if you don't get it, it's not going to happen.
So I wanted to I lost what I was going to say. Crap. Hold on, it'll come back. Do you think expansion is the answer? Like, do we spread players out a little bit more, and that will cause teams to be calling up junior players a little bit sooner, and then filling those third line roles,
Um,
fourth, depending on the team. Some teams like to run a fourth line sometimes.
so yeah, maybe, maybe. The problem you run into with that is, uh, how's talent spread across the league? Especially, we talked about this the last couple times we talked about expansion, but you have to run a draft, absolutely, because if you don't, then you're setting two teams up for failure for years. Um, but more importantly than that, too, how do you get those rookies into that position? How do you get those young kids from the SMJHL into that position where they can enter the big leagues earlier and still make an impact? You know what I mean? Because you think average, not super crazy TPE earner, not super lazy TPE earner, right? You think average middle of the road guy, probably capped by midway through his second season in juniors.
Yeah, so you're looking at maybe 450
to 500. If they get called up after their second season, you're looking at maybe 400 to 450. Third season, you're probably looking at 5 to 550. And the way the league is trending, and part of it is probably because we have player retention into old age, just from guys who have a shitload of TPE and can take the regression hit, but also because I think that people earn TPE real fast in this league now more than they did when I was a rookie. You run into the problem of 500 to 600 TPE as a forward or a defenseman just isn't enough to actually make a difference in the league right now. You're going to be a third, fourth line plug for probably 2 seasons.
All right, but do you think that say expansion and spreading the players out more would kind of handle that by kind of putting all teams in that similar position where they've got these guys on that third line? So these third lines are typically matching up, and so you're seeing
theoretically, right?
Seeing that a little more even level of competition.
Theoretically,
I mean, I know the sim doesn't really work like that. But
yeah,
it kind of does. It kind of does.
In theory, yeah. In theory, if we expanded again, did a draft, we might see third and fourth lines starting to be a bit more even because you've got those guys coming out of their third season of juniors. But theoreticals don't work in this league because people will always find a way to bend what exists to the point of almost breaking. And once someone finds a way to game that system, I can't think of how you would do it, but I'm sure someone would find out. Once someone finds a way to game that system, everyone's going to game that system, and we probably wind up in the same sort of position that we're in now. Not exactly, but the same concept of how do we spread talent in the league? How do we get young guys playing time but make them feel like they're having making a difference and having an impact? I feel like the way that this league trends at the moment gravitates towards that central issue. And it might not be an issue to other people. It's kind of an issue in my mind, but it's not super pressing. I think expansion would help for probably 5 to 10 seasons where we now have rookies that feel like they're getting playing time and making a difference. But after a while, I feel like it all gravitates right back to the question of, are rookies feeling like they're making an impact on the game?
Well, I can't really think of anything else to add here.
Yeah, that went off
I wish I'd read through more of the thread, but see if there's anything brought up that was interesting. But I did see Tommy Salami had a suggestion, which is terrible. Nothing against you, Tommy, but having like a variable rate of regression that would basically kind of be like lotteried, it looked like was his idea. So like your first 4 seasons of regression, you'd get anywhere from 5 to 15% regression.
Right.
And I guess it would be randomized. It's a neat idea because players do in reality regress at a variable rate. Like not everybody, but at the same time, if you got two guys that are in the same draft class, one gets 5%, one gets 15% in their first season. If I was a 15%, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not. I mean, it's a cool idea, but I think it just doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. Really quick. Anything else in there?
Yeah, no, I mean, end of the day, I think the point of talking about the regression curve is, as King so brilliantly puts it at the end of his post, Asa, God bless him, could theoretically stay at 800 TPE as long as the league's alive, and that is a genuine problem. I think.
That's for sure a problem. That should be fixed. I don't know what the best way to fix that is.
I don't either. It could be what King has done here, but even still, he has it translating to bumping the TPE loss up a bit the later the seasons. But even then, you're still not hitting crazy.
Regression has been increased though relatively recently.
I want to say.
Well, I mean, I guess it was about 15 or so seasons ago.
A little bit before I showed up. Yeah. Even still, I think the solution is either raise it higher, but what that does now is you devastate early regression so that you can really decimate late regression. You know what I mean? You might have to start guys at, much as it pains me to say it because I'm about to hit regression, you might have to start guys at 15% and build to 30%. It's going to suck and it's going to kill a lot of players quick, but it also means we don't have a situation like we do with Asa. God love him.
Yeah, as a power forward, it really hurts the viability of the power forward build.
Absolutely.
To increase regression any more than it already is. But that's, I don't know, that's an issue I think more with the power forward build that is kind of unfixable. It's just kind of maybe potentially another thought that could be or another thing that could be brought up. But
the regression issue is really genuinely super complicated. There are not
a lot of little bits.
There's not a proper answer. Just guesswork and what we think could work. Guesswork, and there's no right answer here.
Mm-hmm. I think it has to maybe if you found that level of sustainability, if it exists, if it's like sub 500 TPE, like if you really want to hang on to your player for an extended period of time, they're going to be shit.
Oh, absolutely. And it comes back to what we said when we started this topic was how many people realistically are even going to make it past 17 seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And most people, like I said, most people don't even make it out of those first 10%. Like
hell, I would wager a good majority go inactive before they even hit regression. So this is a fix to a problem that only exists for a very small amount of people. But when that small amount of people are still dominating the league, it's hard not to look at it as a problem.
Yeah. You want to move on?
Yeah.
Let's. So this is actually these next three things that I want to talk about are all King related. We could talk about the draft too, because the lottery did happen.
Yes, we can talk about that. Do you want to do this design stuff and then hit
the
lottery
graphic stuff? Yeah, let's do that.
Let's talk about something not analytical.
Yeah, something that's a little more, I don't know,
lighthearted.
Fluff. Yeah, I don't know.
a little easier to talk about without getting real deep into opinion.
Yeah, not having to think about it so much.
Yeah.
The graphics contests, I guess, is it? Yeah, both of them were contests. Yeah. So one is done and the other is starting, I believe.
Right. Yeah. The logo design contest is done, and the
the
off-season regular season contests are Yep.
Yeah. So do you want to start with the teams or do you want to start with the SHL?
Let's start with the logo because that one's finished. We can actually talk about that without speculation.
Yes. There was, I don't know if these are all the submissions or not, but there's basically 12th place on up to first.
I think it
SHL
says
logos.
19 submissions, so we didn't see 7 of them, but we did see.
Oh, there it is.
12. This was everyone that received a vote.
Okay, I see. All right. Have you looked through these yet at all?
I have, yeah.
Did any of them stand out to you?
I really, really liked sixth place flappies,
Yes, I was going to say that too.
like
Actually.
NBA style logo. I think the colors are awesome on that. I think the design is super clean. I'm sad it only got sixth place.
Yeah, I think I don't know. See, I'm not big on graphics, but I think it needs something. I don't know what, but it's not. I don't know. It's not there yet for
It's
me, but it does
just a
stand
little
out as
plain.
a really good one to me.
It definitely feels like a professional logo.
Hmm.
I do wonder if it doesn't borrow too much from. It reminds me a lot of the NBA logo. It's fairly similar in structure. I appreciate how clean it is, and I do love the what would you call that? Like a faded orange, green.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't know what you
it's a
would call it.
great color scheme. Peach maybe.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that seems good.
Um, fourth place is also really solid. Teddy. Um,
Okay, yeah, yeah. He
the
submitted a couple that got votes, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate the faux 3D feel that the logo has. It feels kind of modernist, but also it reminds me of postcards. Like you always see those
Mm.
like greetings from sunny Boston, Massachusetts. It kind of reminds me of the same sort of pop, the way he did uh, um, the enveloping on it,
Mm.
and the orange again. I like that color a lot.
Oh yeah, that is a very similar color to the one that Flappy used. Actually, very similar. Number second place was Carrie's. That's actually one to me that I'm not a fan of. I was a little.
Um,
I
it,
mean,
it
I don't know.
reminds me of the
It's
San Francisco Giants logo. That's what it looks like.
yeah, it's very weird to me. I don't know. It's like I don't know.
I
There's a lot going on there.
appreciate the take. I think it's a neat. I use this term a lot in art. I appreciate the cleanliness of it. It is very clean. The lines are very
Mm.
um, sharp. Edges make sense where they are. I like the banner idea. Um, I just don't think it's a great logo. I think it's a cool design. I just don't. It's not super. If you don't know what you're looking for, you probably wouldn't know what this is.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Is it's I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, it's like trying to understand. Yeah, trying to understand what the acronym would be. I'm not sure that I would not knowing what it
Yeah,
is if I would get
exactly.
SHL out of it.
S. I could see the S kind of the H
I mean,
obviously
yeah,
because it's in a different color.
I can see
Um,
the letters individually, but to understand that it was supposed to be SHL, I'm not sure that
yeah.
it would necessarily. I don't know. I think I don't know.
Um,
Sammy's is actually really nice.
I like
I'm not
Sammy's.
terribly
It's
surprised that I got first.
not it's a good logo. I like that it steps away from the shield. Because God love the shield. We kind of needed it to not be that.
I don't know
Um,
how we would use that though. Is the problem? I think.
it does. I mean, and that's why the shield is great. Is it's a neat
Mm,
little patch, right?
yeah, this one
Um,
kind of a weird size. I think if you shrunk it down, it would look kind of bad. I don't know.
yeah, it's a good logo. I just don't know how well it would work from a realism standpoint.
Hmm.
The best one on here from a purely realism standpoint is probably fuck. I don't know. The seventh place, the third Teddy entry on this list kind of makes sense. Although circle logos, we talk about that.
Yeah,
Westy's shield looks nice. Little
yeah.
plain.
I'm not a huge fan of the goaltender on there.
Yeah, it's just a little plain, honestly. It doesn't really pop. NJ Bad Apples. I like the take on it.
Which one's this? Which one's that? Oh yeah, oh, there it
Ninth.
is. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't surprise me that what got first did. I
I
don't
just
think
think
it's.
it'd be difficult to use if that's what they decided to go with. I guess
Yep.
maybe maybe somebody can figure out a way to make it work. But
I'm sure we've got so many great graphics people on this site. I'm sure someone will find a way
yeah,
to proof of concept it.
yeah,
Uh, all good though. Congrats to everyone
yeah.
who got a
It's
vote.
really great stuff from King too, getting stuff like this going, get people involved.
Absolutely.
You want to move on to the other one, the teams?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So yeah, with the whole logo contest that King was doing, he reached out to some of the bottom teams and checked to see if they would want to have their logos put in for this redesign contest.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see New England there.
Yeah,
I feel like
actually,
it's been
I wanted to mention with Teddy was talking about this in the SHL Discord channel, and if you remove the circle on the New England one, it actually does a lot to make it not as bad. He posted a like one where he removed the circle, and it's actually a significant improvement, but it's still not great. But yeah, Seattle's I guess a little surprising. I guess because theirs wasn't redone that long ago.
Seattle's
I thought.
Logo. Yeah, it was pretty recent they got a redo. I thought, and I like Seattle's current logo. You take it out of the circle, and it's a cool idea having the Space Needle as a torch.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That was a surprise. I thought we would see. I was hoping we would see Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean,
because I actually hadn't noticed. I never really paid attention to Winnipeg's logo until that last round where it was Winnipeg and Calgary. I actually really looked at it, and I don't really like it.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously you can't use the actual Winnipeg logo. You could make a play for the alt, but then you're really no better than New England using a military patch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Winnipeg's in a tough spot. It's tough having a team that is just an NHL team.
Yeah, and I guess also Zach made a point that they're transitioning leadership too, so it would be weird to. There's really nobody in a position to say, "Hey, yeah, go ahead and put our team in for a redesign."
Exactly. Yeah.
So even if they wanted to, I don't know. Or I don't know if they want to even. So.
New England, I'm excited to see what people come up with for New England. I stand by my comment from last week that they really should do a front-facing, roaring, howling wolf, maybe. Yeah, just something fierce, you know?
Yeah.
Make it fierce.
I don't really have any, like I said, knowledge about this kind of stuff, so I'm just really excited to see what people come up with because there's some really talented people on the site. So I'm hoping we get some really, really awesome options.
Yeah, and Seattle, I don't know what you do with Seattle. Yeah.
That's part of the problem, right? There's this it's kind of an abstract concept.
It is, and it's a great fucking name. I love the Riot. That's awesome.
But what do you do? What
do you do for it?
Yeah.
Do you
just put a bunch of people throwing Molotov cocktails?
I was gonna say, do you do like a riot shield or something? Do you do?
That's interesting.
I don't know. Riot is tough because it's a great name, but you're right. It is so abstract a concept that I guess
very weird.
The Seattle torch makes sense because theoretically people are lighting shit on fire during a riot.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do for Seattle. I'm interested to see what people come up with for Riot.
Yeah. That's weird. I don't remember what path they took for their last redesign. I'm pretty sure Clardy was the GM when that happened. I could be wrong on that. I feel like it was about that time. But I don't remember if they outsourced or I don't remember what happened with that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what. I feel like there's going to be better submissions for the Wolfpack simply because it's an easier concept.
Yep.
And I think people will be more willing to work with that branding.
Yeah, Seattle, like we keep saying, Riot's tough.
Yeah.
So either we'll see a bunch of, and no offense, love everybody on the site, love you all. We'll either see some less than stellar submissions, or we'll see a shitload of really great submissions for the Riot because it is such a tough concept to work with.
I feel like the really talented kind of graphics people we have will come up with something interesting.
Make it happen, Carrie. I'm trusting you on this one.
Yeah, Carrie and Wasty. I think they'll be probably two solid entries.
They'll be two solid entries, absolutely. Them.
I think Enigmatic did some logo work over on GOMHL, I believe. That was
I want to say you're right. Yeah,
I believe she was the Buffalo person. And
I'm not on GeoMHL, but I think she did.
yeah, so she potentially could. I don't know how much graphic work she's doing lately. I feel like her activities dropped off a bit. I could be wrong on that,
I
but
don't know. I haven't really talked to her since I left West Kendall.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Maybe.
interesting contest. Looking forward to seeing what people submit.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
we're on the topic, do you want to talk a little bit about the Manhattan rebranding?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. I want to go back in there because I was looking at that earlier and then yeah, it completely slipped my mind. I kind of don't remember what it looks like off the top of my head. It's like a bull's head with like a bit of a skyline thing. Where are we at? There it is. Yeah, yeah. They switched back to the bull, which I don't know if it was the original, but it was definitely a previous iteration of their logo was a bull, I believe.
Yes,
Maybe I'm wrong.
it was a ways back.
Yeah, it's like super old if I remember right. I don't know if it was like I said, I don't remember if it was the original, but yeah, definitely old.
But I do
Oh, it's just
really appreciate the look of this redesign.
yeah, it's pretty. I was hoping no uniforms just yet. Hmm. Yeah, it's like a. Is that probably meant to be the Empire State Building?
Yes, I think that's supposed to be the Empire State Building above the M for
Yeah,
Manhattan. It's a really well done logo.
yeah,
Not
that's really nice.
not too over the top. Um,
Oh, Carrie did it. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, uh, subtle enough, menacing. I think it's a great redesign, and I think it's good because I think the bear was not a great symbol for Manhattan.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have a super strong opinion on it. I wasn't a fan, but I didn't dislike it necessarily. So now I see Empire with a yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I will look forward. I don't wonder if they've got. I guess this just came out today, so it's pretty unlikely that they've put out any kind of a uniform in their team section. But I'm gonna look anyway, just in case. Let's see here. Team info. No, they still got the old branding on there. So I wonder if they'll. I wonder if they'll consider changing up the uniforms or just kind of swap logos. The uniforms they have now in here, I think, are pretty good. But yeah, I think it would probably work on the current. I don't think it would work on the red. Yeah, I think they'd probably have to do something with it. It'd look weird on the red.
The Manhattan thread is great. I do appreciate all the shit talk that's happening in this thread
Oh, is there?
for no reason at all. Yeah.
Nice.
Joe is going ham on Seattle and Buffalo for some reason.
Oh wow.
I think someone talked shit about the fact that their logo is also the same logo from a fucking Indonesian hockey
Oh
club.
yeah, that's been kind of the theme after that last round of the logo contest.
Yeah,
There's like apparently like a bunch of teams that use
the
that same
same
Dragons logo.
dragon.
Yeah.
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 So I appreciate all the shit talk in this thread. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And actually, when I was on Calgary, this would have been S28, 7, S27. I wasn't actually in the roster, but I was. This would have been my last season as they owned my rights. They were talking about potential redesign. They actually, I think they had I don't remember if it was a thread in the locker room or if Aces sent out um, PMs about it. They had some options they were looking at. We're kind of asking people's opinions on them.
God knows they
Um,
need one. I think they
yeah,
wound up coming last in the logo contest. Is that right?
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
fairly close between them and Winnipeg. Although I'm not sure how many. I guess it's a similar thing though, with some people voting against Winnipeg simply because they're an existing team. But that's the same with Calgary technically. So
Yeah. God knows Calgary needs a redesign. Honestly,
yeah, yeah.
I'm just shit talking Calgary all over the place tonight, man.
Oh, they're an easy target.
Yeah. I'm in a
They're a good
mood
team.
after today's sim.
Yeah, that's fair. Was that today that happened? I
Yeah, it
guess I
was
wasn't
today,
sure.
I think. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so this
don't know.
morning probably.
It was probably this morning. It feels like it was ages ago at this point.
Yeah. Well,
No, let's check it. I think it was today. Yeah.
How about we take a look at the draft?
The lotto,
The
yeah.
lotto. The
Yeah,
lotto, yeah.
let's do that, actually. We can actually kind of talk about, I guess, team need.
Hmm. So I guess most people probably know, but San Francisco had like 40, 50 balls or something in the lotto. So they got first, which isn't a huge surprise, I guess.
No, that's it. Of course they got first, you know?
Yeah, they had like 3 lotto picks. They had a total of 45, it looks like here.
Yeah.
Manhattan had the most in an individual pick with 35. Um, but San Francisco won it, which is a little unfortunate for Manhattan because Manhattan's, I feel like they need it more, a little bit more. Because I think the prize
Yeah.
this season is probably King. I think in
Yeah.
either case, right?
I don't, like we
Either
talked
this
about,
season.
I don't know if King will go 1, but King will go top 3. Easy.
Yeah. Well, I think with San Francisco winning it, I think he's probably a lock. I feel probably a lock isn't really a phrase that makes sense, right? But
Yeah, I get what you mean,
but
though.
I would bet on it. There's part of that is because like probably an hour or two before the lotto happened, he mysteriously entered the publicly available San Francisco Discord.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out there ever since.
Yep.
Um, but also, it makes a lot of sense for them as a team. They need that locker room presence. They need and they can risk it too because even if it is a risk, and I don't necessarily think that it is, but they've got 2 more picks in those top 6. So even if King ends up busting, when did I say busting? He probably still ends up with like 600 TPE as an
Yeah.
inaccurate. But even if he does that, they still got 2 other guys to take a shot on, and they can take recreates. There's so many recreates they could 100% take like a sure thing recreate with both those 2 picks. So like it's very little risk for like a really great potential reward. So I feel like it's like a no brainer to me.
I absolutely agree, honestly.
Um, yeah, I think, and then I think if Manhattan is in that spot, I think they do the same thing simply because they have a fairly empty locker room, and having a guy like King potentially makes them a very attractive destination and kind of provides an instant injection of activity to the team and locker room.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Um, like we talk about, like you just said, even if he does bust out at 600 TPE, that's still 600 TPE, and he's still gonna be enough of a draw for people. I think that San Francisco will benefit even if he does drop off in 2 seasons.
I mean, certainly in the immediate, he makes them a more attractive location, I think.
Yeah.
Um, the other 2 teams that had potential lotto picks would have been Hamilton or Winnipeg, strangely.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily that either of those teams would take him. You might have a little bit of insight into Hamilton, but Winnipeg could go anyway. They might even take Manius first overall if they, little Manius first overall if they get the pick. So
I try not to be surprised, but I'm always surprised by everything that happens in this league. So,
hmm. You got
um,
any thoughts on what Hamilton would have done if they'd won?
probably King. I mean,
It
yeah,
feels like and I must pick is like not it's not correct, but it feels like
yeah. He's not a must pick, but he's a super solid one away either way.
yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
it's not clear cut this year.
Yeah, it'd be. I think it's a good pick anyway. And if not, you get one of a dozen really good recreates, right? So yeah. So there you go. After that, who knows, right? Because like I said, there's so many recreates. Who knows who the next top, the top 6 are really going to be. Schulte
Exactly.
did a media piece on it that I think he's not super correct necessarily. Like it's first of all, it's impossible to predict who the guys are going to be because there's so many top tier picks. But he didn't have King going first, which I think is almost certainly what happens. But
Yeah, I probably think it's probably a safe bet that King will go 1, but
yeah,
you never know anymore, man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, certainly wouldn't be. Well, I guess I would be fairly surprised if if San Francisco didn't take King.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, they could be looking at loading up 3 great recreates because they're sure things, and that's going to give them a pretty decent core. Like
It doesn't matter
2
it
seasons
doesn't
down the
matter who
line.
San Francisco takes, man. They're gonna be stacked either way.
Yeah, yeah. Do they have more picks in this first round or this draft? They've
I
got it,
want to
right?
say in the draft, absolutely. I don't know if in the first round.
And then, yeah, because I know they obviously added through their sale of their players, but I don't know how much more they added. Probably a couple of later round picks, but hard to say. Um, so what else? What else? How are we doing on time, by the way? Because again, classic me. I had
Yeah,
no idea when we started.
we just hit an hour.
Oh wow, nice. Do you want to talk about that other thing we were maybe going to talk about, or should we save that?
I mean, we can mention it. Why not?
Okay. So after we recorded last time, we had kind of um, kicked around the idea of possibly doing a draft stream, um, and the idea being that we would do something that's a little bit more in line with what would like really happen, where we're analyzing the players as though they're real players, possibly, and then also kind of evaluating team needs and trying to guess which players they might pick, and more like a what you would expect from like a real um, sports analyst kind of thing, possibly.
Yeah. It, previous draft streams. God bless all the guys that did them. Were a bit more discussion based rather than
Yeah,
analytics based, and so we were kicking around the idea of doing a little more of an analytical draft stream.
yep, yeah. I've enjoyed the other draft, the kind of standard draft stream because it is pretty much the draft stream, and
Absolutely.
I don't like that's the problem is we would kind of become a competing stream if we did it. Again, there's nothing set in stone at all.
It's right now it's just an idea.
Yeah.
It obviously worth talking to the guys that do the streams. I actually don't know if they've been doing SHL streams still.
Yeah, I think they. Yeah, last time I'm pretty sure they did
They
because it was
probably
a
did.
nightmare because of the slowness of the draft.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember that draft and wanting to die.
Yeah,
So
it was so crazy.
it may be worth talking to the guys that run those and seeing if they have an issue with it, or at the very worst, maybe even combining the two if we have to, and then have some segments where it's a little more analytical and some segments where it's a little more conversational. But it's an idea nonetheless. So
Yeah. And actually, when we spoke last time, I was thinking about potentially we were talking about maybe bringing somebody else in or other people,
yeah,
uh, possibly working with the guys that NJ Bad Apple is bringing in for his scouting stuff.
yes, yeah,
We could potentially bring some of those guys in, and use their kind of scouting knowledge. That first of all, it takes a little bit of pressure off us to have to scout so much, and it also kind of also gets another person in here, and yeah, get some of those new guys a little bit more exposure, a little bit more money, that kind of thing.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's an idea I think worth pursuing.
Yeah,
If it
I'd be interested in
sounds,
it. Just have a
so
little,
would I.
we'll see. I guess it's like yeah, like we've said, it's just a thought at this point.
And if anyone listening is interested in it, please let us
Oh
know.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Be nice to get some, I don't know, help.
Help, absolute help, and especially for a stream like that, to have just more than two voices is always nice.
Yeah, yeah. You can kind of bounce to people like, hey, what's your thoughts? It gives you more, I don't know, a little more flexibility. Also, it's going to
It
be
keeps the energy up.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And then if yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know.
I definitely think it's something we should pursue, and if there's some public support for it, that'd be great. We can talk to the guys that are on the other stream and just see what they think about it. But either way, a more analytical draft stream, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if anybody has thoughts on that, definitely let us know. Or wants to help, or wants to anything, even just a comment. That would be great. Because right now, I don't know about you, but I'm very uncertain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just a little uncertain as far as how it
Yeah.
would go, purely because I just don't know whether or not people would even be willing to tune into it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the logistics of getting everything, because I started kind of creating a very preliminary spreadsheet for kind of helping to determine team needs,
Right.
and it's already extremely daunting, just
It's a
because.
lot. I mean, it's something that if we've
Yes.
got some people that want to be involved with it, we can split the work up among people
Mm,
and do that. But it definitely is a lot to get prepared.
yeah,
Thankfully, we have a whole off season if we go ahead with this.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think. You got anything else to add? I think we're probably
No, I think
pretty
that's
good.
a good place to stop.
Yeah.
If you made it this far, as always, thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah. One more thing, real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be gone next weekend,
Yes, that's right.
so so we're not gonna be recording.
We aren't. Yeah, week break.
But yep, week after that, I will be back, and I'm assuming we'll pick up where we left off.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have Cup to talk about.
Yes, and hopefully some other interesting things. Hopefully not league drama, but
Hopefully
hopefully.
not. Hopefully, maybe a little bit. Maybe a
Gonna
little
be the
bit.
off season though, so
There's always some fun in the off season to be had.
yeah. So hopefully
I
we got fun
might solo
topics.
next weekend. I probably won't.
Cool. Yeah, that's what happened to me last time.
Yeah, I might solo next weekend. Probably won't. I just have such a hard time riffing off of myself.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't know. It's especially when there's not going to be a ton to talk about next season unless
No,
it's a lot of crazy or next week, because it's going to be
it's
what, basically finals
finals,
and
and then
then
start of the off season.
whatever else comes up. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess we can cut it there. Huh?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm
Thank you.
Adam, and this is Rich, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye bye.